Guys, this is Mo. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, then thank you for stopping by. I hope that you will find this video informative and helpful. Forgive me, I'm very tired. It's late, and I've been getting a lot of feedback today in order to give me some direction on how to do this video. So I have been on YouTube for about 10 years. I stepped away for several years, but influencers were considered people that were teachers and more like tutorials, a lot of makeup enthusiasts and a lot of makeup artists, much like myself. So I have been a working artist for 20 years now. I have worked for not only just myself, but I've also worked for MAC, for Charlotte Tilbury, for Makeup Forever, and other environments. But my issue today, and what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, was this cancel culture that has now become YouTube. So the beauty community has been full of drama for a very long time, which has made it very difficult for somebody like myself to not only reinsert myself back into it, but also to watch it. At first, it was very enticing to watch a lot of the drama and but after a while, it got a little overwhelming to continue to watch them tell these stories about Jeffree Star, James Charles, Jackie Aina, Alicia Ashley, Tati Westbrook. All of these names that I really thought, as I was thinking about posting this video, I didn't even think that I was going to mention. But Jaclyn Hill even. My concern is the power that they have over the beauty community as a whole. And also how many situations are not a fair representation of all of those of us that are actually watching or participating or actually work and function in the beauty industry on a regular basis. This most recent event, this cancel culture, was not something that existed when I started in YouTube. So there wasn't like, oh, I didn't like something and I shut it down. You gave information about a product that you most likely purchased yourself, and you explained what the pros, the cons, you taught, and it was kind of a fair and an unbiased situation. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being biased about something that does not work for you. I mean, being fair to explaining it to your audience. What does become unfair is when you are now the either collaborative side of a brand and you don't enjoy your experience, or you are not receiving PR and you feel like it gives you the right to go ahead and break a brand down. And I could go into some very specifics. I'm not going to post any tweets. I don't really care about that, guys. I just want to kind of speak on behalf of an audience that I think is not being fairly represented in this arena, and maybe give some clarification on what millions of us actually really want to go back to seeing and hearing on YouTube. As an artist, I am not personally interested in a influencer's, and I mean an influencer's, personal relationship with a brand or personal issues with a brand. I am interested in their feedback on the product because they most likely are the ones to get the product first because of their position in this arena and the algorithm on YouTube, Instagram, so on and so forth. I don't enjoy watching the infighting. I don't enjoy the idea of how much power an influencer can have over a progressive brand, and how important it is to allow a brand to grow despite maybe some rocky beginnings or their own personal misgivings, which is what I'm seeing. These same influencers have all made mistakes, have all said things that are racist, rude, ageist, misinformative, biased, so on and so forth. It does not mean that we stop watching them, that they're not human beings. I just feel like what I'm seeing now is, I don't like it, cancel it. And when they do that, there's so much power over it. Something that could be really positive, a brand that can be really positive, then all of a sudden becomes a consumer issue, a consumer problem. My particular audience are clients. I work as an artist. I don't care if an influencer is having an argument with a brand that is a good quality product. I do care how a brand responds to certain situations, and I am concerned with what is practical and logical as far as representation goes. However, I make my decisions on whether or not I'm going to utilize a brand based on the service that I receive from the brand personally and the quality of the brand and how it will benefit me in my business, how it works on my own personal skin, and how it will work for my clients. I do not like the idea that I can go on Twitter or get notifications every single morning that yet again some young influencer has had a problem with a brand and now the brand is canceled and completely shut down. And especially, and I think you all will know who I'm talking about, when it's a brand run by people of color. I think all good brands should be fairly represented, but I do not like the idea. It is hard enough for a business run by people of color, especially women of color, to survive in such a large and monopolized industry by large corporations. Like, you may know Mac is amazing, right? I worked for Mac forever. I love Mac. It's not all the end all be all, but Mac is not owned by Mac. Mac is owned by Estee Lauder. Aveda is owned by Estee Lauder. Origins is owned by Estee Lauder. And I can go on and go on and go on and go on. So you have to think about when these smaller brands come out, like your Color Pops, like your Juvia Places, like your, I'm looking around my desk right now. I would even say Morphe at one point. Of course, Morphe is massive now, but there was a time when Morphe was not like this huge brand. When you see those types of things, you cannot go on Twitter. I think it is irresponsible for an influencer to go on Twitter when they have millions and millions of followers and say, don't buy this, they didn't treat my friend right. No. Consumers have the right to make their own decisions, okay? I don't feel like it's fair to step into a fight that you don't have when you don't have a dog in that hunt. We, as people of color, have bigger issues. I am newly married, but if you don't know, I am almost 45 years old. I have a 25-year-old son. If you guys followed me a long time ago, I now also have a 22-year-old bonus son. And my concern is that I've got two black men that are amazing gifts to the world, walking around in a when they see us culture, worried about what could happen just because they're working their jobs at Starbucks and with the police. I don't, and I firmly say this, give a damn about infighting between a 23-year-old or 30-year-old influencer and the owner of a brand, exposing their personal business. I think that is a bad business move by the owner of that brand, but I think that is something that they personally need to take up together. I don't like an outsider coming in and saying, shut that brand down. We as people of color and women of color cannot afford to take or allow anyone else to take that kind of stance. It is unfortunate because we are harder on each other than anyone else. And I would say like this type of black on black crime, I am not a fan of, but there is real like black on black crime that I'm actually worried about. And some of this black on black crime is an influencer breaking down a brand. The crime on my business is that you broke down a brand that was affordable for myself. And if I want to give my clients an opportunity to purchase something that they don't get for free, that opportunity could be erased because you have so much power and influence, almost to an idolatry perspective, in social media, an arena that didn't even exist when I started as an artist. I did not have a web-based platform to perpetuate my business. I had to go out and get it. And there are a lot of old school YouTubers that you guys don't see anymore and kind of wonder about for exactly that reason. We are not supported. We are not represented. We are not finding anyone on YouTube that looks like us or is fair to us. I would even go as far as to say that I have heard these same younger influencers make very derogatory comments about working or finding products that they felt like were for skin that was too mature for them. Well, I'm a woman that I would consider of a mature age, so what do you have to offer me? I know where I land and what I have to offer. I am an artist and I am a teacher. I am a nurturer and I'm a mother and a lot of other things. So I am fair in the decisions that I make, and I try to be as logical as possible in the decisions that I make. But it's getting to a point where now every time I pick up a product, 5 minutes later it's been canceled by 22 million followers, and I don't know what direction to go in, because I don't know if I will lose business because now Dubious Place is hated, or Jeffree Star is hated, or Dubious Place is hated because they supported Jeffree Star, and which is ridiculous to me. I don't know anyone who hasn't made mistakes. I certainly don't eradicate some of the seriousness of the mistakes that have been made. But I think as human beings and as adults, there has to be some room to have a different type of conversation, because when you are taking away major opportunities for us to grow as a people, I have a real problem with that. And even more so, I appreciate the insight that these larger influencers have, because they do receive product ahead of time, and if they can be unbiased and fair to the use of that product despite getting it for free and give us some real insight prior to us purchasing it, I absolutely appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is someone going online and telling me what I cannot and cannot do, and what I can and cannot buy, and basically feeling like as a consumer and as an artist, my business and my value or my work is threatened if I should go ahead and make a decision on my own as an adult to make a purchase that they don't like or support. I didn't get anything for free. I'm not sponsored. I had a fear of even doing this video because in the cancel culture, these things get put out in viral space, and instead of certain influencers wanting to have a conversation, they come for you, they demonetize your videos, they break you down, they call you names, they do all of these kind of hurtful things, the same things that they claim are happening to them that they don't like. I don't really appreciate that. I'm an adult, and I would like to see more of adult responses to these experiences. Social media could be a very positive platform for the beauty community or community. It's up to them to make different decisions. I am here basically telling you guys that not what to do, and it's very scary for me. I don't have a big voice. I'm not even a very big person. I'm 4'10". But you have a right to make decisions based on your own ability, your own belief system, what's practical to you, what works for you, what you enjoy, what's quality to you. you have a right to do that. And I think I needed to be reaffirmed in that. I had made some statements on Instagram, my stories, and a lot of people supported me in that, which I was surprised. And I hope that you guys kind of also feel supported. If you are worried about the cancel culture, vultures kind of coming to get you, I hope that me telling you, not that I'm this big person in the world, but I hope that me telling you that they are not idols. They are also human beings. We all work hard. We are all worthy. Our money is important. We are the consumer base that actually supports all of these brands. And it's a real luxury for some of us to actually be able to go out and buy certain things that are not just handed to us. And God bless them for, building a platform where things can be given to them. But I would hope and pray that they would be more humble in being recipients of those things, and then take some of those negative instances that they're experiencing and work them out differently than perpetuating a culture that they call canceling, that eventually will come back and frankly bite them in the ass. If you go online and you're telling them to cancel a brand and don't go do something because they did something else, just remember the bridges that you're burning. I think if I have learned nothing in life, it is don't be so quick to say never do something. You know what I mean? You don't know when that's going to come back around full circle. I'm not going to say go buy products that are unhealthy for you. I'm not going to say like, oh, just eradicate. Don't worry about that. Metal and lipstick. That's a whole separate issue. But I will say, don't feel pressured, because I personally feel that same pressure. Don't feel pressured to make decisions based off of what influencers are saying. Make your own decision and be okay with that decision. If you want to know my personal feelings about certain things, like I didn't want to come in here and bash on anybody, but I did want to be clear on who I was speaking about. I just, it's getting to a point where I have a stack of products I can't even utilize on film, or in pictures that I really want to share, just for fear of this massive clapback. And I really personally shouldn't care what I'm spending my own money on. I have experienced bigger, harmful, more worrisome issues in my life than makeup drama and beef. But anyway, this has gone on longer than I intended to. I hope that you guys find it helpful, and hopefully, no matter what products I'm using, I will see you guys on the next go round. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.